Black light in the Cyberspace Ministry, once again coming to you in behalf of the Aboriginal Universal Supreme Council of the Elders. We like to give all praises to the Most High, Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and lifting up among us the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad to give us enlightenment on who we are. I'm going to speak briefly about my view and my knowledge of who the Most High is. And we're going to break it down in its minute form. Because when you say the Most High, and you say words like Allah, and when you say Jesus, and when you say words like Yahweh, and various names that we assign to the supreme mind of the universe. So I'm going to tell you how I view and how when we say Allah came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and how do I, black light, beam in on that term and those sayings. So this is how it is with me. And I'm not speaking for no one else in the Nation of Islam, not for Minister Farrakhan, not even for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But this is how I perceive the supreme being or the supreme mind of the universe and the galaxies and beyond. This is how I analyze it and magnify it. When you say atoms, most people don't deal in atoms. They don't study atoms and molecules. But they say, and I was told by educators, that the human being or man is made up of atoms and molecules. And then I'm also told that matter is made up of atoms, molecules, and molecules. And liquids are made up of atoms and molecules. Air is made up of atoms and molecules. So that just about covers you know all that there is. And then you got electricity, magnetism. You know, electricity is made up of molecules and atoms. And uh, so if all these elements that I'm describing has atoms and molecules, including the human being, have atoms and molecules, how is that so? Well, atoms, when they come together, they form molecules, a molecular structure, a molecular structure, uh, and the way they are put together, certain like hydrogen and oxygen, and uh, when these molecules come together in a certain way, when they line up in a certain way, and when they function in a certain way, they produce a uh, certain form. So water is formless, you know, and air is formless, or is it? Uh, it certainly has an order to it, a design order, and it certainly has function to it. And in order for us, human and mankind, to man and mankind to function, we must have water. We must have certain other entities like vitamin D and vitamin A that comes from the rays of the sun. And directly, we consume the rays of the sun through plants and animals. So, and yet we have a structure that's made up of atoms and molecules that are arranged to give us our form, our DNA, our shape. So atoms is the key to all life, to all structures, forms and formless. And when you break open the atom, you see various smaller structures. The atom look like a universe, but then you break open that atom and you find there are other smaller structures like quarks, and they're giving names to all these uh, functions, and you know, labeling all these functions, and all of these different molecules and atoms have uh, you know brands on them, as we say. Now, as this uncovers, as the scientist uncovers different aspects of this atom, uh, a lot of them are seeing an invisible force, because When you say atom, we're talking about a minute. You can barely see it under a telescope. But then you got uh, nanotechnology, and where you can see the smallest objects, and to observe the smallest objects and see how they function. And the more scientists, goes into this, as well as looking outward into the hemisphere and the atmosphere and into what they call space, into the universe, they're seeing a similarity from the smallest to the largest. But when you're talking to the smallest, you're going inward. And when you're talking to the largest, you're going outward. But it seems to start from the most smallest objects that there is. So what we're going to do is we're going to end this talk right here talking about the atom, because I want to illustrate how this microscopic invisible matter, because it's matter, how it gives me the perception of the Most High. I refer to him as Allah. So we're going to shut this one down, to be continued. This is Black Light. We are fading to black.